What's good, guys? This is the Thinking Out Loud podcast where we get people's opinions and views. So right now there's a knife crime epidemic in London. One of the government's key initiatives is to provide knife crime information on chicken boxes. So we wanted to see whether or not people thought this would be an effective way to solve the issues, whether or not they're offended by the messaging of this, and hopefully we can find some solutions as well. So we're out to get your view.
Honestly, I think it's ridiculous because if you look at the way black people already perceive the government and their involvement in knife crime, is that they're not involved fully and they don't exactly understand how we think and why knife crime's happening. So to just put on a chicken box, first of all, it's a joke. Like, I buy chicken to eat my chicken, not to look and see, oh shit, somebody got stabbed, this, that, the other. Yeah. And then I don't think it'll really resonate with the people, to be honest.
I don't know how I'm really supposed to take that information. Like, is that where they see like their target problem is going to a chicken shop? Like, I don't really see how that's supposed to help.
Yeah.
They should look maybe more like around schools, or I don't think that's really going to change the situation at all.
I think it's offensive to put it on boxes from chicken shops. It's really targeting a specific kind of audience and assuming that they're the ones that are actually committing the knife crime. There are probably bigger problems to tackle, like the lack of policing. So really that's where their attention should be focused, not on putting adverts out on chicken boxes.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. That's I mean, do they think that knife crime criminals, eat a lot of chicken?
That seems to be the inference.
That's the first thing to come to my mind. And also, one next thing I wanted to ask is, I've got more questions to that question, I suppose. But pretty much the next thing is, what sort of information are they giving? Are they saying, oh, please don't stab people, or I think maybe something that's probably more constructive is like, if a buddy of yours does get stabbed, do you know what to do if that happens? That's what I would probably think. Do they have first aid information on there?
Right.
I don't know.
And did it go like even from a PR perspective?
Yeah, like how was that something that was able to, come to a decision that people thought that was a good idea?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can't wrap my head around.
Do you feel when I spoke to some people, right, they almost felt insulted to a degree, or I sort of sensing that from you?
That's how people are at the end of the day. There's not much you can do to change the way they want to see people, but it just seems like they're trying to feed into a stereotype rather than actually trying to combat the situation.
Yeah.
Black people just see it as, or distance black people further from the government because they'll think, wow, this is how they think they can communicate with us through a chicken box, rather than youth clubs, any other sort of way, you know what I mean?
Bit insulting.
It's a joke, to be honest, but
yeah. How do you feel about knife crime in general? Do you feel like it's a big issue here, in this area, in the UK? So I know it's a generic question, but what's your thoughts on it?
personally, I haven't been too affected by it, but I do think, obviously I do have friends that aren't academically, I guess, prosperous, so I think they're sort of the main people that it does affect, because it's sort of a downward spiral, if you get what I mean. So don't do well in school, you ain't got another option, don't make money. I guess it all rolls around that, to be honest.
No, definitely.
Well, I do, and if it's not me, then my brother's friend, for example, he actually got murdered a few weeks ago, so it's not something that's not around me at all, and I am very conscious of it. And I had a conversation with my brother about this, and at his friend's funeral they were talking about, in that area where it happened, there were youth clubs dotted around everywhere, and that was a thing to do for everyone. They were always there because they were going to youth club, and there were lots of things to distract people from going into the wrong paths. So as a group of young boys, they're all kind of 20 to 22 years old, they said, the government is spending so much money elsewhere, but what's happening to the youth? Why aren't they providing us with youth clubs and some funding for the people that are coming from less fortunate backgrounds? So very much around me, and I'm very conscious of it.
I'm more interested to find out what sort of information they're giving people.
To my understanding, I think there's a group that looks at people that have been involved in knife crime or gangs and stuff like that and come away from it. So I think some of their literature is going to be in it, so sort of reformed members and their stories and stuff like that. That's going to be on the boxes. And I don't know, they think it's going to inspire people to move away from it, or
Yeah, I know. I think there's also things that the government schemes, which I think is just really, maybe I'm saying too much here, but maybe it's just a bit. It's all PR, you know. So it's all things like outside police stations, like hand over a knife. I'm like, well, the thing is, you can commit a crime. You can commit a crime with a £200 samurai sword, and you can commit the same sort of crime with a screwdriver. You know, like which you probably spend maybe less than a £5 on.
Yeah.
So you know, it's all PR. I don't think it's really addressing the problem.
I personally, myself, I don't feel fearful about it, but I do feel fearful in terms of like my little cousins, my brothers, my uncles. I do feel fearful for them.
right.
But I think it comes down to like what circles you're in and kind of who you socialise with and who your children are socialising with.
Right.
So you do kind of, I don't want to say it's not the parents' fault. I don't think it is at all. I think it's more of like you need to make sure your children are busy, and I think that the government needs to have more things in place so that children have like better things to do rather than get themselves in these kind of situations.
Right.
I genuinely think it's to do with parenting, because I know personally with myself, my mum taught me right from wrong. My mum always checked where I was going, who I'm meeting up with, and even when she's not there, so she don't always know who I'm meeting up with. The mentality that she instilled in me sort of made me pattern up and think, wow, this like I've been around it, and I know people that have got into it, but I've sort of distanced myself from them, let them do their thing. That's that.
That starts from a young age, then, really.
I think it's just the mentality that you instill in the youth. Policing and all of that doesn't really help, to be honest. Like, you're letting the problem fester, and then you tackle the problem, if you get what I mean. But you might as well deal with the problem before the problem arises, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. That makes sense. So, and again, like you said, that's from a parenting side. So, but even you think, like, from a government side, or whoever takes part in that, they should really think about doing things from that stage, or that, rather than later on. Or
I think they could also do, particularly like with youth clubs.
Yeah.
So if you ain't got nothing to do, you're on the roads, you ain't got, you're just around. And when you're around, that's when I guess negative influences come in and all of that. People that are actually involved can sort of find out more about you, and they're around you a lot more because you're not, I guess, in an environment where you're doing something positive, if you get what I mean.
yeah.
If somebody does get stabbed, if a friend of yours gets stabbed, do you know what to do? Apart from calling 999, do you have some first aid training that you can like go to action immediately? And if something does happen, are you carrying, instead of carrying knives, are you carrying something that you can use to protect the body of yours? I'm not saying a weapon. I'm saying, okay, do you have examination gloves that you can cover yourself up and so if any blood transference when you're addressing a friend of yours, do you know how to cover up a wound? Do you know what to do before the ambulance come? I mean, these things can these things can can buy time for the ambulance to come along and save somebody.
It is effective somehow because a lot of youth do eat from chicken shops and that, but not really, because no one really pays attention to it. They just see it, eat it, finish, dash it. No one's gonna pre the chicken box and deep it, fam. You know what I mean? The only thing that's getting deep is the munchies, then it's off, it's finished. Mother's left. Anyways, bless you.
No worries,
man. Take care.
Alright,
Safe,
cool, appreciate it.
Bye again.
Bye-bye.
Right, welcome to another episode of Thinking Out Loud. It's your boy Jermaine.
It's your boy B here.
Yeah, we got another one today for you. Interesting topic. Want to introduce this one?
Yeah. So it ties in with the food that we got. But obviously, serious topic though. There's a knife crime epidemic in London and UK as a whole. And one of the initiatives that the government's come up with is to put information about knife crime on chicken boxes. Not on these ones yet. That'll be the case in the future.
Yeah.
So we're just looking at whether or not it would be an effective thing to do, whether it's caused any offence in the target audience that you think chicken boxes and this type of food would be associated with, and any solutions as well. So that's where we're going with it.
Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed, we're twinning today. We're wearing Art Mob
Yeah, man. Yeah.
clothing line.
Yeah. Definitely a new up and coming brand. And
Yeah.
it's dope.
Fresh.
Designs are dope. Very
Definitely.
exclusive. Very exclusive right now, but yeah, you need to get onto their
Definitely.
website, onto their Instagram, and they got some good stuff on there.
Really nice stuff.
Yeah,
Really good
100%.
stuff. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and what we're having today, we're having Sam's. Good old Sam's chicken, eh? You know, just to keep in flavor with the theme, we decided to go chicken shop. You know. And-
Yeah, it's mad because you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I kind of eradicated this from my diet, but when you brought the food in, like it was a familiar smell.
Yeah.
Like
he brought you back.
yeah, I was on it. I'm on it. It's mad. But yeah, like straight on the topic, then I think again we're not gonna retell the whole story of what everybody said already.
Yeah.
But just yeah, my opinion, it's an interesting one. Some people even pointed out the fact that it's not the only initiative, but it's one of a number of initiatives. One guy pointed out the fact that there's some stuff that they're doing in schools, and I've heard saying there's more people, more police on the street. So as a package, it helps to have a lot of initiatives, but whether this is going to be effective in itself, I very much doubt it. Having it's almost like one of our friends are talking about it when you got smoking packages, right?
Yeah.
And they talk about lung cancer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The causes of so it's literally giving you something jumping out at you to say, okay, don't smoke. But then like lung cancer and cigarettes have a direct link. So
Yeah.
there's not a direct link between eating fried chicken and
Knife crime.
yeah, exactly.
Because then, if you think about it, if that's what they're saying, there's a direct link between knife crime and chicken shop. Who are you targeting?
Yeah,
You know, you're trying to. It's kind of like undercover targeting a specific group of people.
Well, no, I wouldn't even say it's undercover. I think it's overt. This is literally like whether intentional or not.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just a stereotype of well, specifically black people as a
Yeah.
stereotype.
Yeah.
You eat. Well, there's layers to it because it's black people. You eat chicken.
Yeah.
You eat fried chicken.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson made the point. Boris Johnson made the point about, the horrible comment about Pekingese and watermelons and all these things. All those
ridiculous.
stereotypes. So,
And the fact that he was the one that made those comments, and now he's the one that's
under his regime, yeah.
is bringing in this. It's like, whoa, like this is the prime minister. This is someone that we look into as is leading the country forward. It's like,
Yeah, I don't know specifically who that came under the government, but in any case, it's under his leadership.
Yeah,
it
it is,
wasn't there
yeah.
before. So
I'm sure you had to sign it off.
I don't know how these things work, but I see your point. Like maybe so.
I mean,
he
he's
takes
speaking on
the
it.
accountability.
Yeah, I mean, he's speaking on it as something that he thinks is, you know,
Oh, is that right? He's actually.
yeah, it's going to work and stuff like that. So it's like,
Oh, fair enough.
surely he's definitely involved.
Yeah, man, it's insulting. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's insulting. But like black people specifically from the chicken angle, but also just like it's not just a black thing. Like there's a lot of other people that eat in these type of shops.
Yeah.
and it is a very working class type thing. I'd say so anyway. And so that target audience is just kind of. There needs to be some more explanation around how they came up with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is their rationale behind it? And just on a PR level, like, how could they think that will not be met with outrage?
Yeah.
It's just a disaster. Like before, when they had on that big van where it was just basically saying "Go home," like
Right.
it's
Yeah.
another disaster. They had to pull that one down, but now it's just like they just on all that. So yeah, man, yeah, it's not good.
But then even so, let's even like, okay, let's say that's what they think is going to work. Yeah, okay, we think there's a mixture of stuff in there, by the way. That's a mixture of different things.
Oh, okay.
So let's say they think, oh yeah, that's gonna work.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think putting messages, be it positive messages of people who have found their way out of knife crime and is doing better for themselves, is going to, you know, influence someone who's caught up within that to go, you know what? I'm inspired by this right now. Let me do no, and even the people who aren't necessarily caught up in knife crime, it's laughable.
Yeah.
They're gonna sit and start and laugh about it. It's not serious. You know, and like I think that as you know they said before, it's like which has been said. I think they're gonna talk it the wrong way and talk it at the wrong time. They targeting the wrong age group. They have to go younger, and they have to go to people who aren't already in that stage. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to get somebody who's already smoking to stop smoking, as opposed to get somebody who hasn't started smoking yet to say, "Don't smoke." Show them a bunch of people who with lung cancer and you know all these terrible things that can happen to you. You know, it more chance of deterring them from actually start smoking as opposed to somebody who's already smoking and go, I'm alright.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You nailed it. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why it just looks like it's going to be completely ineffective. Saying that, I haven't actually seen it myself, so I can't fully judge it. But just as a concept, it just sounds horrific, and it sounds insulting. It just sounds insulting. It almost feels like they're trivializing it. And it's just funny when there's a lot of things like this where you think, like even like all of the, I got different views about it, but the H&M stuff where they had the monkey thing, and then they had I think it was Versace. They had issue one of those mainland brands. Things like this always make you think. Yeah, Gucci. Sorry, sorry. Things like this always make you think. Who signs this off? Like, are they so far removed from reality? Funny enough, with the H&M one, I think that wasn't actually in the UK, it was in Europe. And even the Gucci one, again, I think that was in Italy. Right, well... This is here in the UK, right? Yeah. There's no excuse, this is in our consciousness, the way that these things are reflected. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get how they could think people won't be offended by this. And it just sounds like...
but then you think within that same thought, as you said, you're thinking, who is signing these things off and do they think it's going to work? But it's like, do they even care? Might be a case of they're thinking like, I don't really care, you know? Because even I vaguely remember something along the lines of, I think it might be Nike that had this brand with, is it the balaclava, the part of the clothing line, or the bulletproof top or whatever it was. And it's like, what are you trying to say? Like, who are you targeting with this? You know? And you're perpetuating a stereotype of people where, and then those are the same people you go, well, you know, they're bad, or you look at them in a certain way. But you're making stuff like this, and it's like, it just makes no sense.
Yeah, very ill thought out, and at best, intentionally racist. Or just literally inflammatory at worst. Like, it's just like, you don't know where you're going with it.
On some level, you must know that this is going to be offensive.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And if you think, and if on some level you think that, you have to stop it and go, hold on, let me ask somebody and get their opinion. And if that's one person and two people think that, like, come on, it has to be a bigger conversation. You can't say, okay, let's roll with this then.
Maybe they thought there'll be an initial outcry for about a few months, and then after a while, it will just become common. Like, you know, after a while, you don't even look at things, just like whatever. And then they're thinking, then it will become effective. I'm playing devil's advocate. Maybe that's the logic, because otherwise I can't figure out how else you would say this is not going to be offensive and whatever. I think go on.
No, go on.
I'm going to change course. Go ahead.
No, I'm going to say, but within that, do you like? I've saw the package has a lot of writing on it. Yeah, small print.
Yeah.
Are you going to actually read all that?
Whoa.
I mean, do you read information that's on your can of Coke or your can of whatever? It's like you don't. No. You just drink your drink. It's like you don't care. You know what you want. I want a ginger beer. I want a 7-Up. I want a can of Coke. Bam, let me just drink it. I want a chips and chicken and chips. I'm gonna eat it. I haven't got time to read what's there. You're not interested in what's there.
Yeah, but I think it's meant to be a new and novel thing, so it will jump out at people and people will read it. Like, but you're right.
Jump out the skin. Nanga. Now what the hell is this?
No, you're right. But like I said, after like it might be new and novel, have some sort of impact, and then after a while, it's like no one's gonna. It's just gonna become a joke, or just stay a joke. I'm just trying to think all the different stages it could take. Just quickly though, I think overall,
Yeah.
it's interesting about just other ways to tackle the epidemic of knife crime. I mean, maybe we can do a longer episode about that in particular because it's a big issue, and we just touched on it out here. But I think, I just think I'd like to know other stuff that the government are doing, because if that's the only way that I'd have any sort of how can I say it? I'm not happy with this initiative at all. But sorry, the only thing I was going to say is that if I knew the full package of all the government's initiatives and they're doing loads of stuff, then it would be good to know about that. There's other things which are affected, because this just feels like a gimmick. And it's just it's just like you're putting something out there just to say, look, we're doing something, and it's eye catching, and it's just. Do you know what I mean? It's just a charade. Do you know what I mean? Go on. What are you gonna say?
I mean, I would say the other thing that they're putting out there is the stop and search thing, to bring that back into effect. But then it's like you can't just go back and bring something like that back in effect when there's been so much problem with it before. You have to come and tackle it in a different way. Like, what's new with stop and search? What's going to be different from last time? Because if you're going to come back with the same old thing, it's going to cause the same old problems. And what's new with it? How are you going to approach it differently? You know, and then as you said, it's like if they came with like a bunch of stuff and said these are the things that we're going to try. You can somewhat give this message on the chicken box thing a blind. Okay, that's one of many things they're trying. At least they're trying. This doesn't seem like they're trying. It seems like they're just taking a mick. Like, what's all this about?
It's embarrassing, man.
It really is. It's like, if that's the best that you guys can come up with,
it's embarrassing.
It should you shouldn't be running the country.
It's embarrassing. It's just
like people are telling you.
Shameful.
People are telling you what the communities are telling you what they need, what needs to be done. You know,
it's shameful.
They're cutting all these funds in places that kids go to school and stuff like that. They're telling you that you need to invest in these places. They're not telling you to go and put messages on chicken boxes. So why is this what you're coming up with? It makes no sense.
It's over the top. It's just not good enough.
Like you're asking for their opinions, and then you're gonna disregard it and do something totally left like this. It's like a slap in the face.
It's a bad idea. It's just it's something visible, so it's kind of tangible. So it looks like they're doing something, where it's just kind of like it's just gloss, isn't it? And that's how it feels. Unless they say this is a whole suite of different things we're doing, but then otherwise.
You know what I'll put it down to?
Go on.
It's politics. It's just all politics. It's one of those talking points where they can go, well, in our time of government, we tried to do this and we tried to do that. And we implemented this, and we did this, and we did that. And for whatever percentage of particular time, of a particular period, of particular people, there was no knife crime. And if you probably checked it out in real time, it was probably like a day and a half that nothing actually happened. But they put all this gloss and percentage and it's worded in such a political way that it goes over your head and you go, oh, wow, you're doing something, when it weren't really. It's just politics, isn't it? It's politics, so they can use it and for the how much million for the NHS, they can just put it out there and make you think, oh yeah, wow, that's amazing. We can, I'm gonna vote for you or whatever. It's like it's nothing really.
This is just straight. It's funny because it's actually difficult to articulate like why it's so bad. But I think that's what happens when you're shocked at something and you're so offended by it. It's just quite embarrassing. You're just thinking this is really basic. Is this the thing? Is this the main thing? Is this what you're bringing? Is this your solution? It's absolutely laughable. And once, without going into politics too much, but once again, like UK, like before I used to look at other countries, namely America, and think, wow, their politics is a mess.
Yeah.
Like it's actually a joke. Like they're pathetic. We're known as being more clever than them. It's once again where you're just like, this is just pathetic. We're laughing stock. Do you know what I mean?
I think they've been influenced too much by what's going on over there.
Oh,
and the links are too closely knit with this Prime Minister and the President over there.
But it's working though. It's working for them. Like they're in power, do you know what I mean? So it's like,
I mean, in terms of like the decision making and what they're coming up with.
Yeah,
you know.
It's poor, man.
Really is, man. But
cool.
Yeah, that was our topic for today. You know, it was good going out there, getting the view of the people. You know,
always, as always, man.
Yeah,
it's interesting, man, for sure.
Yeah, man. Share your comments below and stuff like that. And yeah, definitely check out Art Mob.
100%.
Yeah, man. Really good stuff. Yeah.
They got dope designs, man. I've got to say.
Very sick.
Yeah,
very
so
sick.
Get involved, man. It's a movement. It's a movement. It's
definitely,
art,
man.
Trust me. There you go.
Anyway,
cool.
Gotta go.